think it was great to see all those fans show up for this 12 o'clock game. The weather was awful. There were some empty seats, but not a lot. I think it was 90,349 that showed up. So it's pretty exciting to see a lot of those ponchos come out there in the first half. I think this was the perfect game for Florida heading into SEC play against Tennessee next week. The Troy Trojans came in pretty prepared after they faltered against Bowling Green last week, but Troy's defense, you got to hand it to them, really played well. Meyer talked about in the post-game press conference that Troy really shut down their option by bringing those cornerbacks in to stop, Jeff Demps and Chris Rainey and any guys really that Tebow tried to option to. Big points from the game. Deontay Thompson last week had a critical drop, a 67-yard touchdown. He really made up for it despite losing 2 yards on an option and then dropping a wide-open pass again. But Tebow went back to him a couple drives later, and he got a 6-yard touchdown. Really going back to the offense, Tebow and Riley Cooper have a great relationship. I think he had 5 catches and 82 yards, so he's got 10 for 2 games. Riley showing off his speed. He caught another deep one. I think it was 36 yards. Chris Rainey, he's probably got the best moves on the team, maybe not as fast as Demps, but had some really nice stuff in the second half. Finally got his touchdown there at the goal line. Didn't think he was going to get in. Tebow messing up my points in fantasy by not scoring, but 6 touchdowns on the day. Tebow 4 touchdowns through the air, matched his career high that he had against Kentucky 2 years ago. Defensively, Florida really stepped up this game. Last week was really vanilla. They only had, I think, 3 defenses out there. This time, we're seeing the Joker package, which I thought was really good, especially against that Troy offense. They had Justin Tradow playing nose. He played really well. He recovered a fumble. He had a couple tackles, and he actually deflected a pass that went to Janoris Jenkins for an interception. But that Joker package is really, really successful against teams like Troy or really anybody. It's tough. And those linebackers in there, when you have Spikes, you have Stamper and A.J. Jones, and you never know which one's going to blitz or which one's going to drop. So I think it's a really successful defense, and I expect to see that Joker package a little more every week. Carlos Dunlap was really big inside. He was standing up sometimes playing linebacker, it looked like, but coming off the end, he had a sack and a couple tackles behind the line. So, and he even deflected a pass. So Carlos Dunlap playing well as usual. Brandon James, feel sorry for him. You got to feel sorry for the guy. It returns a punt for a touchdown, only for it to be called back for a block in the back. I saw that he had a little Deion Sanders move there in the end zone and threw up the dynasty sign. He even had his helmet ripped off by Janoris Jenkins, but all for nothing. Another penalty takes another touchdown back. I think that's 100 that he has that have come back like that. Second half, Florida kept the dogs in for a little while. Brandon James had a really nice deep touchdown from Tim Tebow. It looked like a 6'5" guy catching the ball, and I think Brandon James is only about 4 or 5 or something like that. But really nice catch, really nice throw from Tim. The one guy that really stuck out for Florida in reserves was Amarius Hines last week. He had 3 catches for over 30 yards, and he wasn't even expected to play. And the thing that I noticed was he ran a slant pattern and dropped the ball, and I think a couple plays later, Brantley did the exact same play and hit him, and he had a really big gain. I think Florida goes into Tennessee week with a lot of confidence. This game was pretty big for them. It's much better competition than Charleston Southern was last week, and Florida needed the mistakes. They fumbled the ball a lot. I think they had 6 fumbles, and Meyer seemed kind of frustrated about it, but he understands it's a game of football. Rainy conditions, it was pretty bad there in the first half, so putting the ball down on the ground 6 times isn't going to help you. They lost 2 fumbles, but Troy helped them out with a couple turnovers as well. I think it's good that they get all these kinks out early until SEC play comes.